Good afternoon, welcome to another video from Autocraft Equipment. You'll see here on our YouTube page that we have a few videos available for aircon and TEXA. You can go into these individual ones for a little bit more information on the different topics that I will go over in this video that we're about to do. But this one is going to be just a brief sort of fly through of everything it does. So for somebody who hasn't seen TEXA before, or maybe hasn't seen it for a number of years, let's just jump straight in. I've only got truck software on this PC, so we're going to use truck software. And very quickly you'll get HGVs, which are truck, bus and coaches. They're all available in there for you. And we have trailers and semi-trailers. And light trucks, all your light commercial vehicles. There are a load of them in there. Powertrains, which are engines, transmissions, comfort systems and braking and suspension systems. So if you don't know a make or a model of a vehicle, it could be an oddity you go to. It could be a generator with an engine in it. Chances are you're going to find what you're looking for in that system there. And coming out from there, small utility trucks. These are things like road sweepers, essentially. Things, little vehicles that the councils use and things like that, they're all available under light utility trucks. So quickly going into truck now, there's a whole pile of them there, pretty much everything you'll find on the UK roads, that's for sure, and beyond. Different ways of selecting them. I can scroll up and down them and then choose the vehicle I want, like so, just by clicking and then populating this address at the top, or I can use the alphabet here to take quick shortcuts to where I want to go. It's another way. Or I can press anything there with the orange button. It's the VIN scan. So rather than me telling it the make, the model, the year, etc., I can just press the orange button on that Mercedes, for example, and then it will say Actros 2015. As much information has been put into the ECU for us. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to use this little shortcut here, which is the drop-down box. And it shows me the last 20 vehicles that I've plugged into. I'm going to use the Scania because I know it's got a couple of good faults on the demo software. So this is a 2016 Scania S series. From this page, before I even start interrogating any of these ECUs here, I can look at information down the side here. I've got wiring diagrams available to me, so the engine wiring diagram and AdBlue system and so on. It's all here. And if you haven't seen what they look like before, I'll just click on, well, maybe I'll tell you what, engine ECU. Doesn't matter which one, I choose what engine. So this big pink thing in the middle, the salmon coloured thing, is the ECU, and then all of these bits are everything that's connected to it. So there's quite a lot on a modern ECU, on an engine ECU. But then, as you can see, as I move my mouse across the page, it highlights each part, and if I click on them, there'll be an image available, what it looks like on the truck. What are we looking at here? A temperature, fuel pressure sensor, right? Okay. And there's also a card of information. So if this says generic, like it does here, it will cover a range of pressure sensors. If it says component sheet, which I could show you another one, it will be specific to that vehicle. So as this is generic, it'll cover a range of pressure sensors, and it will take you back to school or college. And it'll tell you how it works, and then tell you what you should be seeing on each of the pins as a reference point, and where to put your voltmeter or ammeter to test the component. So coming off there, I think you get the idea. Oh, also this is another new thing. So as you can see here, as I move across the wires here, it's showing me like the flow of current, if you like. So if I click on any of them, I can see that I don't know what that is, whether it's an earth or a feed, but it goes from pin C29 there to pin 5. If I want a bit more detail, this box up here, if I click it, it will open this, I don't need to see that box there, look. So from S34 is the code, which is this, pin 5, which it's coming out of, which is electronic, it's the accelerator pedal, and it goes to E62, pin C29, and it's the engine control unit. Okay, so it gives you a sort of breakdown of where that feed is going to and from. So to close that information, just drop it off like so. They're adding this now to a lot of the wiring diagrams and the little updates that keep coming through. It's always worth checking for updates every, well, I do it every week, but I mean at least every fortnight, because there seems to be stuff coming through all the time. And they're not just adding new trucks and new vehicles, they're actually updating the whole back catalogue. So, you know, don't think TEXA's only interested in looking at the new stuff, it's also updating the old stuff too. So without further ado, let me get into a truck so we can have a look what we can do. So we select our truck, and from here, these are all the list of ECUs we can go and interrogate. These are shortcuts. I explain all these in another video, so I'm not going to spend time on them now. We're just going to jump straight into the engine. Now let's assume I don't know where the diagnostic socket is or what cable I need to connect to. I could click this button here and it will show me a video, if I press play, of where I find the diagnostic port. Being a Scania, they used to be up on the side of the where the door aperture is, but now on these new ones underneath. So you're not so likely to trap the wire in the door when you shut the door on the cable and end up breaking your OBD cable. So that's a better design there from Scania. So when you're happy with that, you would press next and your interface would start talking to the truck. As I'm on demo software, I have to go this way and just tell it it's demo. And the ECU will now start talking to the vehicle. And it says switch on ignition, which I'll do. And it opens into the faults page. Always opens here first. Again, watch the videos on faults, so it'll give you more of an explanation on what these mean. ATT, MEM. Very quickly, red faults are active. There is a fault on that system right now. It'll put the light on the dash, possibly put it in limp mode. Amber faults, memorized faults, so you may have had a flat battery, you could induce some low voltage faults and things like that. All of them, when you highlight them, will give you some more information. So if I click on like oil pressure sensor, 5410 is the DTC code. On Scania it gives it you straight away. On some of the other vehicles you may have to double click here to open the DTC code. But here I just highlight that one fault, for example, and now I can look at these buttons down the bottom and what they represent. So I click the question mark first, it'll tell me about the fault, it'll tell me what I should go and check and potentially then how to go and repair it and what you should be seeing. So a little bit of a fault guided tour there. Other one's a freeze frame, so anything related to that, there's a bit there. So the fault code, the date it happened, when did it last occur, and the number of times it's occurred, so one, not very many. I say go on to the other videos and look at those in a bit more data if you will. Coming off faults now, we're quickly going to go, very quickly then, this one will take you to the wiring diagram, this item here. So if I click it, I have to tell it what engine, let's say it's a 16 litre. It'll open the wiring diagram and it'll highlight that part flashing up there, look, S55, and then put a ring round it. So there's our pressure sensor that's at fault. If you want more information on it, you can click on it to get the card. Generic, so there's a generic sheet here again with pressure sensors and how they work and how you test them. So we've just looked at that. You can scroll in and out of these wiring diagrams, they're brilliant, very helpful. So come back off wiring diagram. We're going to go to live data next. So live data is what it is. It's data from that vehicle which is running in the background, we can assume. There are 100 lines of data, so there's obviously a lot of information in here. That will populate the screen that you're looking at. It'll forget the things above. So if I scroll down, it doesn't know these yet, so now it'll look for these and forget the ones above, because all this is coming down via Bluetooth. So if it was trying to tell you all of this, it'd be just too much going on for the Bluetooth. So it just shows you what you're looking at that given time. So different ways of looking at live data. You can split these down by filtering it. I've done a whole video on live data, go and watch it. Or you can double click to get graphs, double click them again to collapse them, or you can look at dashboard mode. So it's been added to a lot of the stuff now. So click that, you get a really nice graphic, all the live data, and it tells us there are 3 pages of information available to us, of different bits of information on each page. Very helpful, very useful. So we can come off live data. I'm doing this quick to save time, we're already up to 9 minutes. ECU information, you'll only ever need that probably when you're talking to a main dealer. Activations, where you send commands to a module to do things. And settings, where you change settings, or you do regens, or there we are, as a regen, or resetting values, or fitting new parts, obviously, and telling the ECU that you've fitted a new module of some form. So that's pretty much it, as quick as I can be. I'm trying to keep it short to 10 minutes. Hope you've enjoyed that. Please subscribe, and I'll put more videos up. If you've got any questions, please contact us. Thanks very much. Bye bye.